In the headlines, military begins probe of Kwama killings in Warri. FG to charge 3,000 on average per toll gate of coastal road, says Umahi. Nigerian government plans 1.5 trillion naira savings, 2.5 million meters installations. Zuma resumes case against Ramaphosa over medical records disclosure. And on sport, FIFA unveils 12 African referees for the Olympics without Nigerian. Shagaya pray for the peace, social harmony and development of the country. Shatima made the call in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, shortly after praying at the Ramat Square Eid ground in commemoration of this year's Eid Fitr. The vice president, who joined hundreds of million Muslim worshippers in performing the two Rakat El Fitr prayers led by the chief imam of the state, Shatima Mamman Saleh, prayed for social harmony and development of Nigeria. Speaking to journalists after the congregational prayer, Shatima said Nigerians must continue to coexist peacefully no matter their religious, ethnic or political differences. Among the worshippers were Borno Governor Professor Babagana Zulum and Shehu of Borno Abubakar Ibrahim Gaber, among others. In his sermon, Borno State Chief Imam Shatima Mamman Saleh enjoined Nigerians to embrace peace as he prayed for the progress of Borno State and Nigeria at large. Moving on, the Imam Nasfat FCT Zonal Missionary Dr. Sharafuddin Alagan urged Muslim faithfuls to show love, embrace peace and unity within and around their community, and to continue to reflect on the lessons learned during the Ramadan fast. The Imam made the call during his Eid Fitr prayers at the Nasfat Mosque Utako, Abuja. Liberty News correspondent Elizabeth Marsha has more.
سمع الله لمن حمده ربنا ولك الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
The Eid al-Fitr is an Islamic festival that marks the end of Ramadan, the holy month of fasting where Muslims fast from dawn to dusk each day. Speaking in the Imam Nasfat Mosque Abuja, Dr. Sharafuddin Alianga said the Eid al-Fitr is a period of festival. As such, all Muslims faithful should Islamize it by being happy and extend that happiness to others around. He also added that all lessons learned in the month of Ramadan should be a continuous one as it's been put into practice.
They're happy, they should relax and celebrate within the principle and teaching of Islam in such a way that they will not fall into another crimes. That is the first message. The second message, that all the lessons learned in the month of Ramadan, all understanding, all spiritual upliftment and development and achievement we have obtained in the month of Ramadan should be a continuous one. If a Muslim stops worshiping Allah, he becomes hypocritical in his worship.
The women leader Nasfat Mosque also appealed to all Muslims during and after Ramadan to continue to show love and unity so that peace will reign in the land.
On the day of Laylatul Qadr, we fed about 3,000 plus here on a daily basis. Alhamdulillah. Thereafter, we did itikaf here. We did evening prayers and so many other religious activities we were to carry out, which we did to bring unity, coexistence with Muslims, non-Muslims alike. So, Alhamdulillah, today is Salah. which is coming together after 29 or 30 days of fasting. And you can see, you can testify that a lot of people even come here together for prayer, which is the practice Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam introduced us to do after prayer, after fasting.
Others also who were happy to witness another Eid emphasized the need for Muslims to emulate and practice what was learned during the holy month. Most importantly, show love, as such the world will be a better place. Added that by marking Eid al-Fitr, Muslim faithful should know that good deed has not stopped, as it is a continuous process.
God has taught us to be pious, to be obedient, to observe the tenets of Islam, and to adhere strictly to the rules and regulations of Almighty Allah. And above all, Ramadan taught us to be more humble more than ever before, to care for the needy most importantly, and this is one thing we stand for in NASFA.
For end of banditry in Nigeria.
Muslim Ummah were reminded to continuously live in unity, and all prayers done during the holy month should continue, especially for Nigeria, in order to have a better nation. Elizabeth Marsha, Abuja, Liberty.
The Federal Executive Council FEC felicitates with the Muslim faithful on the successful completion of the 2024 Ramadan fast. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, on behalf of FEC, urged the Muslim faithful to continue to reflect on the lessons of the fast, which includes love, sacrifice, endurance, obedience, and compassion. Senator George Akume urged Nigerians to be optimistic in their support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, and to continue to promote national unity, peaceful coexistence for stability, development, and growth of the nation. FEC wishes Nigerians a happy Eid Fitr. The Imam Javui's headquarters mosque Abuja, Abdullahi Umar Adam, enjoined Muslim faithfuls to be more united, embrace peace, and should not grow cold in their worship to Almighty Allah, as this is the pillar of Islam. The Imam said this during his Eid Fitr message, even as he also emphasized on the need to continue to show love.
The chief imam of Sultan Bello Mosque, Sheikh Muhammad Adam Suleiman, advised Muslims to put the lessons they learned during the Ramadan fast into practice, as Ramadan is like an institution, and also tasked leaders to be just to their subjects.
Give charity to the poor. How can they be good as the Prophet ﷺ told them to do? Then we come to the politicians. The politicians, you know that they are promised a lot, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask them. So every one of them, they will give good account on what they have promised, and they have to protect life, property. Before that, they have to protect the religions, so that everybody will sit down in good condition. And
also Alhaji Dauda Haruna Muhammad Turakin Mardanin Zazzau and Alhaji Hamza Abubakar speaks on the significance of Eid al-Fitr celebration. They call on all Muslims to pray for the country. San Magaji Mohammed, Liberty News, Kaduna.
Emergency briefing was the distribution of over 10,000 bags of rice and other essentials for his constituents for the ward to the local government. The former governor assured his constituents that his current position on the Senate president will be used for the development of the state in collaboration with President and Akwa Ibom governor. Strength noting, as the president of the Senate, I am for the southern region and the entire country. I may not come here regularly to tell you what I have been doing for you, but will be feeling the impact one way or the other. The federal government will charge 3,000 on average per toll gate when the Lagos-Calabar coastal road is completed. Nigeria's Minister of Works David Umahi confirmed the figure. The family of the late former chairman of the Nigerian Exchange Group, Abimbola Ogunbanjo, who was killed in a Southern California helicopter crash in February, filed a lawsuit against the U.S. helicopter company. The former chief executive officer of Access Holding, Herbert Wigwe, his wife and son were also on board the ill-fitted helicopter. The Ogunbanjo family stated that the flight should have been grounded because of treacherous weather. In February, Wigwe, his wife and his son died following a helicopter crash in California near the Nevada border, United States of America. Relatives of Ogunbanjo in the court filing claimed that the charter company Obic Air improperly flew the helicopter despite a windy mix of snowy and rainy condition in the Jovet Desert, where the crash occurred on February 9th, the Press Enterprise report. One of the attorneys who filed the lawsuit, Andrew C. Robb, noted Ogunbanjo's family is seeking answers and accountability. The suit also includes the unidentified successors of Tetlin, Gills, and Hansen, who Ogunbanjo's family holds responsible. Obic Air did not provide any comment on the matter. The National Transportation Safety Board is currently investigating the crash. Moving on, stakeholders and civil society organizations have called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do more for women. The call was made at a media dialogue organized by Women Radio in commemoration of the 2 years landmark judgment on 35% affirmative action. Amina Agbaje, the national president of FIDAL, lamented that the Tinubu-led administration appointed less women as ministers, adding that if women were considered good enough to vote and campaign during elections, they should be considered good enough to be appointed in various political positions. Agbaje added that there is a need to sustain and continue the demand for more women's representation. Rashidat Medubin of Sustainable Gender Action Initiative stated that the government needs to partner with civil society organizations to intensify effort to implement the 35% affirmative action and also make Nigeria a nation where women's voices are heard. Medubin, who appealed to the Tinubu-led government to uphold the judgment of 6th April 2022 by appointing more women into positions, added that Nigeria needs to accept women as accomplished leaders and ensure that gender policies are implemented. In 2020, a group of Nigerian civil society organizations led by Nigerian Women Trust Fund took the government of Nigeria to court seeking an injunction to compel the government to implement the 35% affirmative action as contained in the National Gender Policy, which was adopted by the government in 2000. Gunmen attack a police checkpoint along the Abaleke Enugu Highway, settling a patrol van belonging to the police ablaze. The incident happened at Isheki Junction at the outskirts of Abakaliki town. Sources in the area claim the gunmen killed one police officer and abducted others, but they could not be independently verified of the time of filing this report. Police spokesperson in Eboyi, Joshua Okandu, confirmed the attack. He, however, denied knowledge of killing, adoption of any police officer, saying he can't confirm much but will get facts right. The incident came barely 3 weeks after 4 police officers and 2 civilians were killed in an attack on another checkpoint at Hilltop Junction. You can also watch us live on our social media platform on YouTube, Liberty TV News, on Facebook, Liberty TV News, on Twitter, Liberty TV News, and on Instagram, Liberty TV News. Still to come, Nigerian government plans 1.5 trillion savings, 2.5 metric meter installations. Zuma resumes case against Ramaphosa over medical records disclosure. FIFA unveils 12 African referees for the Olympics without Nigerians. Stand by for this and more after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still on to Liberty News. Now moving on, the federal government has raised the amount that it will be saved this year following the recent hike in electricity tariff for Band A customers to 1.5 trillion naira. It also stated that about 2.5 million meters would be installed this year in a bid to bridge the metering gap across the country and ensure consumers pay the right amount for electricity. On April 2nd, 2024, the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononugwa, stated that the move by government to withdraw electricity subsidy from 15% of power consumers in Nigeria will save the government about 1.1 trillion naira annually. Ononugwa has said the President Bola Tinubu-led administration was poised to allow the price hike in electricity given its 450 billion naira budget for energy subsidy in 2024. The government announced the hike in electricity tariff at a press briefing in Abuja by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, adding that those affected will pay 225 per kilowatt hour, up from the previous rate of 26 kilowatts per hour, presenting about 240% increase. Meanwhile, the Power Ministry stated that the target of the federal government was to meter about 2.5 million unmetered power users across the country annually. Now moving on to the international scene, former South African President Jacob Zuma is scheduled to appear in the Gauteng High Court in Johannesburg on Thursday to continue his prosecution bid against President Cyril Ramaphosa. Zuma accuses Ramaphosa of failing to act against South Africa's prosecutor advocate Billy Downer and journalist Ken Malha, who both allegedly closed his Zuma's medical details during his 2021 corruption trial. Zuma was eventually convicted and sentenced to 15 months in prison in the same year for defying a court order to appear before a judicial commission probing corruption allegations in government and state-owned companies during his presidential term from 2009 to 2018. Zuma argued the disclosure of his medical records was in violation of the National Prosecuting Authority Act. This case was last heard in court in December 2023. In 2023, Ramaphosa successfully applied to the court to review and set aside Zuma's private prosecution bid. Zuma then sought to appeal this decision before the full bench of the High Court, but lost. Zuma, undeterred, petitioned the Supreme Court of Appeal, but the appellate court dismissed his appeal. He has since requested that the appeal court reconsiders his decision. At least 17 religious pilgrims were killed and 41 injured in the crash as they traveled to a shrine in southwestern Pakistan, officials said. The crash happened around 10 p.m. on Wednesday night in the Hub district of Balashkrishan Province. District Deputy Commissioner Murik Ahmed told AFP, confirming the troll. The travelers were en route to a prayer site during the Muslim holiday of Eid-Fitr, which is currently on the way, he added. Jakad Jalbani, the Deputy Medicine Superintendent of Hub Main Hospital, also confirmed 17 people had been killed and said most of the injured have been sent to nearby Karachi for treatment. Road accidents, which fatally are commonly in Pakistan, where safety measures are lax, drivers training is poor, and transport infrastructure often decrepit. In January 2024, 41 people were killed when their passenger bus, which was also loaded with containers of flammable oil, plunged into a ravine in Balochistan province and burst into flames. Now moving on to sport, Nigerian referees continue to suffer backouts from the international competition at all levels. The FIFA Referees Committee has announced the appointment of match officials from across the globe from the upcoming Olympic football tournament Paris 2024 with a notable representation from Africa. Among the 89 officials selected, 12 hail from Africa, demonstrating the continent's expertise and contribution to the international football stage, but no officials were considered from Nigeria. The women's tournament is scheduled to kick off on July 25th, 2024, culminating with the gold medal match at the Parc des Princes in Paris on August 10th, 2024. Similarly, the men's competition with the final match set for August 9th, 2024, also at the Parc des Princes. These African match officials will undergo rigorous preparation and will continue to receive close monitoring and support for a team of FIFA technical trainers, including referees and video assistant referees instructors. Each Team Nigeria athletes will get a whopping $50,000 if they clinch a gold medal at the upcoming Olympic Games in Paris. World Athletics on Wednesday announced it will become the first international federation to award prize money at an Olympic Games, financially rewarding athletes for achieving the pinnacle. Received from the International Olympic Committee's revenue shared allocation, which is received by World Athletics every 4 years. This will be used to reward athletes who win a gold medal in each of the 48 athletes events in Paris with $50,000. The payment of prize money will depend upon the World Athletics ratification process, including athletes undergoing and clearing the usual anti-doping procedures. Each Olympic champion will receive $50,000. Relay teams will receive the same amount to be shared among the teams. To end the news, here is a recap of our stories. Military begins probe of Okwama killings in Warri. FG to charge $3,000 on average per toll gate of coastal road, says Umahi. Nigerian government plans 1.5 trillion naira savings, 2.5 million meter installation. Zuma